Welcome to a special edition of Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Sam Shea. Go Bulldogs!
Welcome to the Alabama A&M Football Review, a special edition with new head football coach Sam Shea. Welcome to the Hill, Sam.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, man. Just more than excited.
That'll be the last time I call you Sam from now on as coach.
All right.
So, Coach Shea, you talked a lot today. Your opening speech was very, very inspirational. But what made you want to come to Alabama A&M?
Well, being from Birmingham, Alabama, man, I tell you what, I grew up going to the Magic City Classic.
All right.
All the way up till I went off to college and still went to a few then. And just have always followed really both teams in this rivalry. And I've got friends on both sides, and my wife actually attended school here at A&M, some of her family and friends.
Oh, really?
So,
okay, right on.
So obviously I know a little bit more, and I've spent a little bit more time on the Hill. So very excited to be here, and it's right up the road, man. All my folks can come out and check us out, so excited to be here.
Being a native of Birmingham, Alabama, what was it like to go to Pinson Valley High School and win a state championship?
Well, it was exciting, especially because of during the time we did it was during COVID. So it's just a great story. A lot of the things that we went through and everybody else went through during that year, and to be able to persevere and make it to that championship game and win it is something that everyone that was involved in that would never forget it, and it's a great story.
You said you have friends on both sides of the Magic City Classic rivalry, but you beat Alabama State. So what were those phone calls like?
Interesting. Very interesting. There were some people that said, "Hey, man, I'm your guy. I'm your biggest fan, but
right,
I can't wear that gear when you play Alabama State." Okay. So I'm quite sure it'll be the same thing with us playing Alabama State now. Some of those same friends. I've changed teams. I'm not at Miles College. I'm at Alabama A&M, so they'll probably treat me the same.
And of course, your undergraduate or even your high school career, you were named as the top scholar athlete in the state of Alabama.
Right.
How'd you get that award?
Well, the Bryant Jordan Scholar Athlete Award, that was an award at the time given to the top scholar athlete in the state of Alabama, and I actually happened to be a pretty good student in high school.
You talking about a 4.4 GPA, something like that?
It was above 4.0. It was a little bit above 4.0. But my mother was a teacher and an educator, teacher and principal. So that foundation was laid at a young age for myself and my siblings. That school was the first thing, and it was the most important thing. And the athlete side of it came second. So that's how I happened to win the Scholar Athlete Award, the Bryant Jordan Scholar Athlete Award.
Let's talk about your love for student athletes. We just saw you speaking to a group of student athletes that stayed here for the press conference.
Yes.
You spoke to them. Tell us what your schedule is like now that all the hoopla is over.
Well, that's interesting because when you're interviewing for coaching jobs, that's one of the questions you get is, what's the first 30 days look like? And I've seen that question. I've answered that question a few times. It's busy. It's evaluating the team, the players. It's talking to members of the current staff that's here. It's talking to coaches that we want to bring in. I can just keep going on and on. It's meeting the administrators on campus. And nowadays in college football, one of the things you've got to do, you've got to be able to go out and talk to the boosters and donors and get them fired up about the program and getting people to buy season tickets and getting people to help our athletic program, our football program. So there's a lot going on, especially in this first 30 days. And then after that, we kick it into more of the true football role. That happens after the February signing day, when all the coaches come off the road from recruiting, because we got to get out and we got to hit the ground running in recruiting right here in January. So when they're off the road in February, then we get into the morning workouts and spending time with the team and getting those guys ready for spring practice. And just it's a busy schedule. It's pretty busy.
To be intense, some people say that a championship team is not built in the summer, it's built in the spring.
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in that.
So what's your spring going to look like for us?
Well, first off, it really starts for our coaching staff. So obviously the students come back on the 13th. And so they'll start back working out with the strength and conditioning coach. They'll be running, lifting, all that stuff. It's what we call more of the power phase, trying to get bigger and things like that.
Okay.
But then once February rolls around, we get to spend time with those student athletes out on the field, our coaching staff. And we do a deal, a lot of people call it mat drills, some people call it lower gym, but we call it an hour of power.
Hour of power.
we get them out there in the mornings in February, whether it's cold or hot.
Oops.
And we're going. It's about mental toughness, developing mental toughness. I'm one of those guys, I tell people, look, I want to find out. I'd rather find out in February, you know, if a guy's going to quit on us, so to speak, than find out in August or September. So that's more the mental phase, mental toughness phase for us in February. And then we roll right into spring ball. We start doing some what we call installing our offense and our defense. We do that for a couple weeks before we roll into spring practice, and we feel like that lays a foundation for our student athletes to have an idea of what we're going to do. And when they go out there, we want them to hit the ground running.
Absolutely, Coach. And you've hit the ground running now. One question that people may ask: are you looking for a home in Huntsville? You're going to commute from Birmingham?
No. We're actually my wife and I. We're looking to find a place here in the Huntsville area.
Right on.
And our family's only an hour and a half away down the road, so we want them coming up to see us a lot.
Right.
So, because I'm going to be busy. I'll be busy,
Absolutely.
and we want them to come visit us a lot, which we know they will.
You're coming up to Division I football. Alabama A&M has probably the best facilities of more than 95% of the football championship subdivision schools. How does having all of that around you, how's that going to benefit you as a football coach?
Well, it's always good to have things that the student athletes need to be successful, as far as in your weight room, just your facilities as far as your fields. Obviously, we've got grass fields and a turf field. And
about to have a covered practice facility, sure.
Right. So there's definitely some competitive advantages to having some of the things that we need to be successful.
What did you learn in the NFL that can help these student athletes?
Well, one of the things that I learned, and I learned this as a player, you're always trying to improve and become better. Because in the NFL, every year it's going to change. New people are going to come in, and you've got to be better than you were the year before. So I was always trying to evaluate myself and find ways to get better. So as a coach, that's what I'm always trying to do with our student athletes. Also, I'm trying to do it with our coaches. Everybody gets evaluated. At the end of every season, coaches get evaluated, players get evaluated. I'll get evaluated, obviously,
that's right.
by our athletic directors.
You are the guy.
Yeah, so one thing you better believe, I'm always going to be doing the best job that I can do. And that's what I believe in.
Thank you so much, Coach, for accepting the job. We hope to see you do better than you expect to do. Last question, we always give the coach the last word on the show, Coach.
Well, what I got is, listen, I told the group at the press conference, we're going to be all about the chase this year.
The chase.
We're chasing perfection. We're chasing excellence. All those things we're doing on and off the field, that's what our student athletes are going to be doing in 2025.
Folks, you can support Coach Shade and the Bulldog football team by purchasing season tickets. And while you're at it, go to AAMUsports.com. But wait, we have an app as well. We'll have a practice facility that'll be covered, and we have an app that you can get all of the Bulldog athletics information at your fingertips. Coach Shade, welcome to the Hill. Thank you so much for watching. When we come back, we'll have a conversation with our Director of Athletics, Dr. Paul A. Bryant, here on the Alabama A&M Football Review. Welcome back to the Alabama A&M Football Review, the special edition that'll only be seen on YouTube, so hit that subscribe, like, and leave us a comment. We're with Director of Athletics, Paul A. Bryant, who also was the former interim head football coach here on the Hill.
Yes.
My record's good as yours, Coach.
Yeah, I'm undefeated.
Undefeated.
Yes, and I quit.
Right. Stop while you're on top.
Right.
You mentioned in your comments that the student athletes had a hand in the selection of the coach. Tell us about that.
Well, that's part of the whole interviewing process for me in any position, that I include our student athletes as a part of that hiring process, because technically they're going to be working with that person consistently. So I want to know, and it's very important for me to hear and watch how the coach interacts with the student athlete. And if he's able to articulate to them his craft, then I know they're the right person for the position.
So you really were hiring a professor of college football.
Basically, coaches are teachers. And Coach said that earlier, that they're teachers. And so you have to be able to teach and really, because what you're trying to do is get them to do something that you want them to do. So you have to teach them. And although everybody talks about coaching, it's really teaching.
Talk to us about NIL, Coach. You know, we hear a lot about it. It's been around for several years. You were the first athletics director in Division II to sign a student athlete to an NIL deal. What's that look like for us? Are we going to have a fund? How are we going to do that?
Yeah, so what we're looking at doing is really creating a collective for all of our student athletes. We already give a stipend to every student athlete.
That's right.
And that's something that is not
it's not common.
It's not common at all. So one of the things that we're looking at doing is create a bigger fund so our student athletes, so we can do a little of that NIL. Yes, we did the first one at the Division II level, and now we want to do more at the Division I level.
You got a Division I football coach who played Division I, won a national championship. How important was that? Was that the overriding deciding factor in your search?
No, that wasn't the overriding, but it was a plus that he did because he knows what a champion looks like and feels like. The deciding factor for me was his interaction with our student athletes and then being able to solidly recruit the state of Alabama. When you look at his team, his previous team at Miles, he had literally 71% of his team was from Alabama. And that's something that we're looking for, because once you put Alabama local and in Alabama kids in the stands, on the field, then their parents and their parents' friends and their friends' friends want to come and watch, which increases our attendance at games and season tickets and that sort of thing. And so looking at it from a business standpoint, that's what we want to do. And I really, once he talked about that in all his areas that he touched in the state of Alabama and beyond, that was one of the two of those were the deciding factors for me.
Someone asked me the other day, Coach, about season tickets. They asked me how important are season tickets and what does it do for the school. Please tell us.
The importance of season tickets is, we just talked about NILs and being able to pay the players, because that's the landscape of athletics right now.
That's right.
That gives us an opportunity to do that. And really, season tickets help me really enhance the student athlete experience. Season tickets allow us to create a nutritional center for our student athletes. They help me get them athletic strength and conditioning coaches. It really helps to fund the entire department just being a season ticket owner.
We thank you so much for your hard work, Dr. Bryant.
Yes.
The platform that you leapt off of shows us the ribbon cables around here. January 18th, Alabama State's men and women's basketball teams will be here on the Hill.
Yes.
You probably won't be able to get a walk-up ticket, so why don't you go to AAMUsports.com and go buy a season ticket to make sure you can be in the building, because it was packed last year, it'll be packed this year. But better than that, go ahead and make a season ticket purchase for football and basketball. It benefits all of the student athletes, as you
Every
just
student
said.
athlete.
So, Coach, I give you the last word. I don't get to coach the last word.
Yes.
We'll give you your last word.
Well, I tell you, please come out and support our men and women basketball, football. Not only that, we have the HBCU National Tennis Champions women on this campus.
Yeah.
Come out and support all of our student athletes, because they all are working hard. And as always, go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs! Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week.